Hello everyone. Let's begin with the last chapter of the first unit, that is reproductive health. Okay, now we already know the main concepts of reproduction completely. Now, reproductive health refers to the state of healthy reproductive organs with normal functions. Now, the WHO, that is World Health Organization, this has led to a definition of reproductive health. It says that in the total overall aspects, the overall aspects of the reproduction, like physical, emotional, behavioral, social, this all leads to a good reproductive health. Yes, so reproductive health doesn't mean that it has to be only related to one aspect. It is related to these many aspects. Therefore, society with physically, socially, emotionally, behaviorally, everything with all these aspects, this can only lead to a proper reproductive healthy society. Right? Now, increasing in the population is hindering the task of making a good healthy society. The direct and practicable method of controlling this population is the controlling the birth rate. Now, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the methods of contraception, about STDs, that is sexually transmitted diseases, then about infertility, then about infertility problems, etc. So, let's go into the detail about the first concept of the chapter, that is reproductive health problems and strategies. India was amongst the first few countries to initiate action plans and programs at the national level to attain total reproductive health at a social goal. Now, these programs were called what? The family planning, and were initiated in which year? 1951. Now, these programs were periodically assessed over past decades, and improved programs are currently in operation under the name Reproductive and Child Healthcare, which is known as RCH program in short. Okay, now there are some major tasks which was given by RCH. Okay, so let's go into the detail about that. The first task that they gave us, creating awareness among the people about various aspects of reproduction. The second is providing facilities and support to build up a reproductively healthy society. Okay, and there were some different measures which was taken by the RCH. Yes, when I say RCH, now you know what is it. It is a reproductive and child healthcare programs, right? So the measures which was taken by the RCH is the government and the non-government agencies use audio, visual and print media for creating awareness among people about reproduction related aspects. Now, the introduction of sex education in schools to provide right information to young minds so as to discourage them from believing in myths and misconceptions about sex related issues. Proper information about reproductive organs, adolescence related changes, safe and hygienic sexual practices, and about STDs, that is sexually transmitted diseases, that is about AIDS, would help people, specifically the adolescents, okay, to lead a reproductively healthy life. Then other measures that was taken is educating the people, especially the fertile couples and those in marriageable age groups, about the birth control options as well. Then care of pregnant women, postnatal care of mother and child, importance of breastfeeding, equal opportunities for male and female child, right? And the next is awareness of programs due to uncontrolled populations growth, like social evils like sex abuse and sex related crimes, etc. should be created to enable people to think and take up necessary steps to build a reproductive healthy society. Nowadays, the next measures that was taken is about the amniocentesis, statutory ban, the mandatory ban of the amniocentesis test. Now, which amniocentesis means what? From the amniotic fluid. Now, you know what is an amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid from the womb is been taken and has been tested, meaning there are chromosomes present in that fluid. So from that it has been tested whether the child is a male child or a female child. Till date it is happening, like killing of the girl child. Even the literates do that. Yes, so to stop that as well, we the other measures which was taken was statutory ban on amniocentesis, that is a massive child immunization, etc., and other massive child immunization also. These are some of the programs which need to be taken. Okay, now amniocentesis is what? It is a medical procedure used in prenatal diagnosis of chromosomal abnormalities and even fetal infection. A small amount of amniotic fluid containing fetal tissue and fetal DNA is examined for genetic abnormalities as well. Okay, now unfortunately this technique, so actually basically Amniocentesis was given for what? For seeing the chromosome abnormalities, meaning is there any abnormalities in the child, the growing child or not, in the growing baby, the fetus or not. But unfortunately, this has been taken into a bad practice, like what, determining the sex of the child, right? So through, meaning it's a technique which has been misused for sex determination, and if the sex determined comes out to be girl, people undertakes actions that lead to female feticide, right? Thus this procedure has certain legal restrictions in gender based countries as well. The next topic is about the population explosion. Now, to learn about population explosion, we need to know what is population first. It is the total number of individual of a species living in a particular area, that is known as population. Okay. Now, in last century, all-round development in various fields significantly improved quality of life of the people. Right? Now, this rapid increase in population over a relatively short period is called what? The population explosion. Now, the world population, which was around 2 billion, that is 2000 million in 1900, that rocketed into what? 6 billion by 2000, right? So, this is a similar trend which was observed in India too. A population which was approximately 350 million at the time of our independence, okay, and crossed 1 billion mark by May 2000, indicating every sixth person in the world is an Indian. Expected reasons for the population explosion may be what? A rapid decline in death rate, that is maternal mortality rate, that is MMR, and the infant mortality rate, that is IMR. Now, increase in number of people of reproducible age as well, that is also a expected reason for what? The population explosion. Now, the further things that we have to learn is about the factors governing population size. The basic processes that play a major role in the increase in population size are natality, that is a birth rate, and immigration, which is a permanent movement of people from outside into an area, whereas mortality, which is a death rate, and immigration, which is permanent movement of people out of an area, contribute to decrease in the population as well. Right? Now, there are some consequences related to overpopulation. Now, through our RCH programs, we can bring down population growth rate. Like according to 2001 census report, the population growth rate was about 1.7%. Okay, so if this value persists for a long time period, our population could double in like coming 33 years, you can say. So such alarming rate can lead to absolute scarcity of even the basic requirements. So some of the direct consequences of overpopulation are given, like as you can say, the shortage of food supply. If the population keeps on increasing and the production of food does not increase in a similar proportion, will lead to shortage of food. The next is unemployment. As number of people will increase, the job need will be also increased. Yes, will also increase. But when sufficient number of jobs are not available, this would cause unemployment. Education, it can lead to like with increasing population, more people need to be educated. This creates difficulties for the government in order to provide proper education to everyone. The next is what? The major one, the poverty. Family tends to become poor if there are more persons in it and the income is less, right? So some of the steps, there are certain steps which are undertaken by the government to control the population growth. What are these? These are statutory raising of marriageable ages of girls to 18 years and 21 years in case of boys. We already know that. Then by giving incentives to the couples with small families, motivate smaller families through media like advertisement, posters, and to use various contraceptive methods as well. The next topic that we have to learn about is the methods of birth control. Now, when I talk about methods of birth control, we need to know about the different contraceptive methods for the birth control. The presently available wide range of contraceptive methods could be broadly grouped into different categories. The first one is natural or traditional methods. Now, the basic principle of this method is what? To avoid the meeting of the sperm and the ovum. Here the first category you can say is what? Periodic abstinence. It is a method where the couple avoid coitus or intercourse during from 10th day to 17th day of the menstrual cycle, since it is a ovulation period, meaning it is a fertile period that you can say. There is more chances of getting fertile. So that is the reason they avoid coitus during this period. So that is an abstinence that you can say. Thus, by abstaining from coitus during this period, conception could be prevented. The second is what? The coitus interruptus or withdrawal method. In this method, the male withdraws his penis from the vagina before ejaculation, so that it can prevent insemination. The third one is lactation amenorrhea. You can also say it as absence of menstruation here. Now, from ancient times, women have extended breastfeeding so as to avoid a new pregnancy. It refers to the absence of menstruation during the period of intense lactation following parturition. Now, because ovulation does not occur in this period, the chances of conceptions are almost nil. So, this period or this method that you can say is reliable for maximum period of 6 months following delivery. Side effects are almost nil, but chances of failure of this method are high. The next method that we have to learn about contraception is the barrier method. Now, these methods prevent sperms in the ovum from physically meeting in order to prevent fertilization. Now, these methods are available for both male as well as females. Now, these are, first is condoms. Now, these are made up of thin rubber or latex sheet and are used to cover the penis in male and vagina and cervix in females. Right? Now, these are used during coitus so that ejaculated semen would not enter female reproductive tract. Use of condoms has increased in recent years due to its additional benefit of providing protection against STDs and AIDS. Okay. Now, moreover, condoms do not interfere with the coital act. They are disposable and can be self-inserted. Second one is cervical caps, diaphragms, and walls that you can see. Now, these are also made up of rubber and are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during intercourse. Now, they prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperms through cervix. So, these are reusable. Okay. The third one is what the spermicidal creams, jellies or foams that you can say, which are kind of a chemical methods. Now, these are usually used along with the above stated barrier methods to increase the contraceptive efficiency. These are applied at the surface of the vagina before intercourse. The next method is the IUDs, that is intrauterine devices. Now, these devices contain either copper or progesterone and are inserted by doctors in the uterus through vagina. Now, these are categorized as long-term contraceptive methods that depend on the time, how much time, if they are planning for they are having a family planning. So, with that they can refer to this IUDs, meaning for long term if they don't want to have babies or something like that, meaning babies. The first one is copper releasing IUDs, that is, for example, that you can say is copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375, etc. Now, next is hormone releasing IUDs like Progestersert, LNG20, Mirena are some of the well-known hormone releasing IUDs. And the third one is non-medicated IUDs. This is Lepus Loop. Now, IUDs here, they prevent contraception how? By increasing phagocytosis of sperms within the uterus, by suppressing the sperm motility and fertilizing ability of the sperms by releasing copper ions. The hormone releasing IUDs make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to sperms. Now, IUDs are ideal contraceptives for females who want to maintain space among children or delay pregnancy. It is one of the most widely accepted methods of contraception in India. Okay, the fourth one, the oral contraceptives. These are the preparations of hormones, either progestogens or progestogen-estrogen combinations in the form of pills or tablets used by the females. They alter or inhibit the ovulation and fertilization and also modify the quality of cervical mucus to retard the entry of sperms. Now, oral pills are basically taken daily for the period of 21 days, starting within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle after the gap of 7 days, that is during menstruation occur. It has to be repeated in the same pattern till female desires to prevent conception. Now, these are well accepted as they are very effective with lesser side effects. So, these are very popular among urban women, right? So, example you can give is Saheli. Now, Saheli is a new oral contraceptive for females. Okay. The next one that you can say is injectables and implants as well. So, there are some injectables like hormone injection. There are some implants which is a method that refers to the subcutaneous implantation as well. The next is emergency contraceptives. These are known as morning after pills. Now, most common form is a kit consisting high dose of birth control pills. These, if taken within 72 hours of coitus, have been very effective as emergency contraceptives as they could avoid possible pregnancy due to rape or sexual unprotected intercourse. Okay, now the last one and very important, which is surgical methods, or you can also say it as sterilization method. Now this is available in the male as well as in the female. Now male, when I have to state it as vasectomy, when I state it as female, it is tubectomy. Now vasectomy, why is it said? Because the male's vas deferens is cut and tied with a small incision. Okay, in the same way for female, tubectomy, because the fallopian tube or the oviduct has been cut and tied with a small incision. To go into the detail more, vasectomy, it is where the small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum in males. Okay, and tubectomy, it is a small part of fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in the abdomen or vagina in female. Okay, now both these methods are known to be highly effective but poorly irreversible, that you can say. One should keep in mind that contraceptives are not regular requirement for maintaining reproductive health. They need to be practiced against natural reproductive events like conception or pregnancy. Now, there may be personal reasons to adopt these reasons, like to prevent pregnancy or to delay the pregnancy or to have a space pregnancy. However, the possible ill effects like nausea, abdominal pain, breakthrough bleeding, breast cancer, irregular menstrual cycle, etc. Now, these things should not be totally ignored, but no doubt these methods have significant role in checking growth of population. So the next topic is about MTP, that is medical termination of pregnancy. We'll be dealing with this topic in the next class. So I hope you understood with the concept. Study well. Thank you so much.